So this is the part of the discussion where we get to now throw it over to you, because you've sat here for a reason, to listen to these people talk about artificial intelligence and understanding how it can be used in real-world applications to solve genuine customer problems. So, has anyone got questions? Are there things that you would like to ask the panel about artificial intelligence and how it can be used in security applications today and maybe even, you know, a year or two from now? Yes. Hang on, I'm going to bring you a microphone.
Thank you. I'm from City of Perth. We deployed the facial recognition a couple of years ago as a trial through the Smart Cities project. But after like a trial, about 6 months, W Police was not interested in implementing that solution because of the reaction from the community. So how are we going to please the community, and where W Police or New South Wales Police or any organization can support this AI? The community is not in favor of facial recognition at all. Thank you.
I guess I'll take that one.
Aaron, you want to kick that off?
On about facial recognition the whole time. Yeah, look, it's a challenge, and look, as I said, I put facial recognition into a retailer in Australia 6 years ago, and it actually came out in the press that this retailer was using that at the time, and the public reaction was almost non-existent. And I think since then, there's been a facial recognition operator, not in Australia, thankfully, but in the States, that was involved in scraping Facebook for faces and using that as training data unethically, and it was, you probably all know about it, it was well publicised at the time, and that put a really black mark on the whole facial recognition side. We're working very, very hard at the moment to try and convey the message back through channels and through media that provided this is used ethically and responsibly and not unnecessarily collecting data on people that it shouldn't be, or storing data for any significant period of time, if at all, then that should change the narrative. I think the disappointing thing, not answering your question directly, but the disappointing thing is we do use facial recognition all the time, right? So if you've got a banking app and you've elected to continue to use your PIN, and you've got a 4-digit PIN, a computer, especially now with these guys, you know, a 4-digit PIN can be hacked in I think it's under, if you can Google, it's under like 5 seconds or something. It's 6 digits, 30 seconds, and until you start getting into these complex passwords and things. Whereas facial recognition, which we're probably all using on our devices for our banking, or certainly to open our phone, is significantly more accurate, right? So it's a challenge. What I would say in terms of law enforcement and councils with facial recognition is you need to be very specific about where the initial information has come from. So what are you trying to look for? So when you populate a database so that you've got people in there for whatever reason that you want to alert, you know, South Australia, we talked about people that gave consent to want to be in there. No other people should be in that database. If this is a law enforcement thing, what right do you have legally to have a database full of images of people in there? And I think that's the area that's got to be understood. So gathering the right information, ensuring that you haven't got it off Facebook or social media, if it's a law enforcement piece, that it's come from the source and from the VMS, and then what purpose you're using it for, and making sure the data is deleted straight away. So there's a lot of face rec, sorry, I'm continuing too far here, but it came out in the stadiums recently that it was used in, I think, 17 or 18 stadiums. It came out in the press a month or so ago. And the question was raised about why are we using facial recognition and where's our data going? And I think that significantly needs to be answered. And there should be full transparency back to the public and saying, look, it's only used for this person to help us understand if there's problem people. And it's not used for any other purpose, so it's a primary purpose, and the data of us as individuals and my children that are walking into stadiums, because I've got an issue with that, is not recorded and used for any marketing purposes. So you've got a challenge, but we're trying to work through the media and trying to work and lift the bar, because it is a good use case, a technology to be used for good.
Can I just
Patrick,
add
did you
to
want
that?
to? Yeah, go for it.
There's, again, the other side of the coin. So you could say facial rec, we're going to capture everybody's face and retain the data. And again, I'll go back to, as a company, we don't do it, but you could actually have, and we've had requests for this, around, could we just have the list, the faces of the known offenders that we really need to keep out of our venue or store or wherever, and then if you're doing a live comparison of those against people coming in, then you're not retaining everybody else's data. So probably a bit right-wing, but if you're guilty and people need to know you're guilty and you're not allowed to go in certain venues, then you've actually automatically opted in to your face being used, so you can protect everybody else, employees and other customers in the venue. Everybody else is innocent, so don't retain their images, only retain the images of those that you need, and then do a comparison and then do the alarms. I think there is, again, back to every specific use case, I think typical citizens, when they understand and it's clearly communicated why we're doing it, I think the majority will get along about it. But in today's society, not everybody gets along to anything, right?
I think too, just quickly, you know, this was us 15 years ago with CCTV, right? Everyone was like, oh my goodness, you can't put cameras up, especially in city centres, and we're just going through that thing with face rec now. And the irony of all this is you're recording, you know, City of Perth, however many cameras, a couple of hundred cameras, for 30 days, maybe a bit longer. You've got so much video information coming in anyway that has everything in there. And biometrically, if you're putting a layer in where you're getting biometric data, you can't rebuild a face from that biometric data. It's all secure, it's all ones and zeros. So yeah, it's an education process, and it's a difficult one that we're trying to go through. I think in New Zealand at the moment, there's, you know, the media that came out 2 days ago, and we can name foodstuffs. I've been told that we can, because proactively the CEO is actually trying to drive the right narrative on why it's being used, and that it's being used ethically and responsibly, not gathering unnecessary information, but it's being used for good. And I think if we can get to that point, it's going to be valuable for us to understand that, to use it for a good purpose.
Yeah, and I think the other important piece of that too is that there needs to be, and you know, I'm part of that problem, there needs to be ethical reporting from the media about what is actually going on and what's real. And they need to stop reporting poop, basically, because we don't have facial prints, you know, recording face prints or fingerprints or whatever. They're algorithms. They're mathematical algorithms that identify nothing. They can't be reverse engineered. They can't be reconstructed. We've just got to stop reporting garbage. Have we got other questions? Oh, I've got questions. So many questions. Why am I here? What's the point of life?
John, can I just say too, if facial recognition is a problem, there's other technologies like Patrick's working with, where he says he doesn't use facial recognition or biometric data, and you can still get a lot of value from that. And I think that's another direction you could potentially head as well, so not using biometric data.
So attribute analysis. So basically, what color of pants, what color of clothing, hat, glasses. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I still think the authorities have to make, back to that human call, if you can help them narrow the search to get to that, accelerate. So if you're looking for somebody, and rather than take 10 hours to look for somebody and it takes you 30 seconds and you got 6 people potentially based on attributes, you're not violating people's privacy, you're just helping accelerate the investigation. So there are other ways to do it.